My name is Heather. I'm 24 years old, and right now, I'm sitting alone in an office, nervously awaiting my date with Tim. It's been 3 months since we first met, but tonight feels different. It's the first time I've ever dated a guy. I grew up in the countryside, surrounded by vast farmlands and not many people. Sometimes, I swore there were more raccoons than humans in my town. So when I moved to the city, everything felt overwhelming. The towering buildings, the endless crowds, it was all so new to me. My dad was strict. He made sure I focused on my studies, and nothing else. But about 6 months ago, everything changed. We had a huge argument. I told him I was an adult now, capable of making my own choices. He didn't agree, telling me if I couldn't follow his rules, I should leave. So, I did. That's when I learned to rely on myself. A friend invited me to a social gathering, and that's where I met Tim. Heather, have you been waiting long? Tim's voice snaps me out of my thoughts. Nope, just got here, I reply, trying to sound casual, but my heart is racing. Tim is kind and thoughtful. Despite his busy schedule, he always makes time for our weekly dates. Tonight, he seems even more attentive than usual. Without a word, he pulls out a small necklace and gently places it around my neck. I don't know if you'll like it, he says, looking almost unsure. I'm taken aback. It's beautiful, thank you, I whisper, my fingers tracing the smooth pendant. I've never been given something like this before. Growing up, my parents never let me wear jewelry, never gave me presents for my birthday. This simple act feels like a gift of love, and I hold onto it like it's the most precious thing in the world. The next day, I hear whispers in the office. A colleague sneers, it's probably from a dollar store. Another junior colleague chimes in, I don't know what kind of guy he is, but if I were you, I'd be upset over a dollar store item. You must be easy to please. The words sting, but I try to brush them off. I didn't even notice it was from a dollar store. But it didn't matter. It was the thought behind it, right? At least, that's what I told myself. My colleague just shrugged, and I tried to push it from my mind. But then, out of nowhere, Tim calls me and breaks up with me over the phone. We haven't talked much lately, I say when he answers. What's going on? You seem different. I don't know, he replies. This isn't working. It's over. I freeze. What? Why? I want to understand, but he just sighs, sounding tired. It's a hassle, Heather. Why all of a sudden? My voice trembles, the words barely escaping my throat. He sighs again. You're asking too much. Before I can say another word, he hangs up. I try to call him back, over and over, but he never picks up. I don't understand what happened. We were fine, weren't we? I feel lost and heartbroken, and for the first time in years, I can't eat. My body is numb with sadness. Heather, you need to eat something. You're losing weight, my junior colleague says, concern written on her face. She's been looking out for me, but no matter how much she tries, I can't shake the sadness. 3 years pass, and one day, while I'm enjoying a burger in the park with my junior, a couple walks by. We're going on a night cruise for dinner, a familiar voice says. I look up, and my heart skips a beat. It's Tim, dressed in a glossy suit, his arm around a flashy woman in a short jacket, mini skirt, and high heels. I freeze, unsure of what to say. Tim doesn't even notice me, but his eyes narrow as he sneers at us. Look at you two, he mocks. Fast food at the park? Totally screams poverty. His words hit like a slap to the face. I can feel my cheeks burning, my stomach twisting in knots. The woman with him laughs, tossing her hair over her shoulder. Did you really date someone like this? She says, feigning shock. She was happy with a dollar store necklace, but now look at her, eating a burger in the park. How embarrassing. Tim chuckles, and his voice is filled with venom. I knew you were poor, but I didn't realize how low you'd go. Breaking up with you was the right call. I'm stunned. My junior, who has been listening to the insults, raises her voice. How can you be so rude? Apologize right now. Tim scoffs. You're annoying. Birds of a feather, huh? People like you always have big mouths but no backbone. The couple continues to laugh, mocking us as they walk away. I feel the heat rise in my chest, but my junior pulls me back. Let's just ignore them, she says, her voice trembling with anger. But the damage is done. People around us are whispering, their glances lingering on us. My junior is furious. Aren't you upset? Do you still have feelings for him? I shake my head, forcing a smile. Want to go on a dinner cruise? She looks at me, confused. Wait, are their clothes really knockoffs? I nod and explain my plan. A few hours later, dressed up and ready for revenge, we head for the dinner cruise. The line is long, but we're not here to wait in it. We spot Tim and his girlfriend in the queue. As we walk past them, my junior leans in and whispers, "Those tickets? They're just regular ones." I nod. But we've got express tickets. Tim spots us and laughs dismissively. What's this? The poor girl upgraded? You even changed your clothes to try to impress me? His girlfriend laughs too, her voice dripping with mockery. Regret it yet? Too bad, we had trouble getting these tickets. But then, my junior pulls out our tickets from her purse, flashing them with a grin. You think those are special? We have private room tickets. Express tickets. The best seats on the boat. Their faces fall. What? Tim stammers, his expression one of disbelief. Well, good luck with the line, my junior says, enjoying the moment. We bypass the long line, walking straight toward the express gate. Tim's voice trails after us, full of anger. What's her deal? She's not just some lowly woman, is she? Later, as we enjoy drinks on the exclusive terrace, Tim and his girlfriend approach, clearly upset. You shouldn't be here. This area is off limits for your kind, Tim sneers. But my junior stands her ground, whispering to me that she's about to call someone. Tim keeps pushing, mocking me, but I don't flinch. Did you really think you could pull off a fancy night with your dollar store necklace? Tim taunts, pointing at my jewelry. His laugh is a cruel sound. You're pathetic. I stare at him, my voice cold. Are you really so obsessed with cheap things? Because that's all you seem to care about. The murmurs among the other passengers grow louder. I watch as Tim's face turns red with embarrassment, his bravado crumbling. The tension in the air thickened as the voices around me grew louder. Tim's girlfriend, too, raised her voice, sharp and cutting. Timmy, you're lucky you dumped this poor woman. Now you're in love with me? Both of them laughed, a mocking, cruel sound. Poor woman, they repeated, their words echoing in my mind like a slap to the face. My heart pounded as I tried to keep my composure. I didn't think you were this kind of person when we were dating, I snapped, my voice shaking with anger. I regret being so blind. Tim's laughter rang out, harsh and unrelenting, as if my words were the punchline to some cruel joke. That's rich coming from you, he sneered. She's a real lady compared to you. I'm embarrassed I ever dated someone like you. Give me back the time I wasted on you, you poor thing. His words cut deep, but it wasn't just his voice that made me flinch. His girlfriend joined in, their combined ridicule echoing through the crowd. And then, as if on cue, my colleague's voice rose above the chaos, filling the space with a commanding tone. Enough! My junior colleague stepped forward, her voice firm and unwavering. Heather isn't poor. The words hung in the air like a challenge, and the crowd seemed to hold its breath. There was a pause, an expectant silence. Then, to my shock, a few hands went up among the crowd, slowly at first, like hesitant ripples in a pond. More hands followed. She's the future president, my colleague continued, her words gaining strength. This cruise is managed by a company owned by her father. The realization hit Tim and his girlfriend like a thunderclap. Their faces drained of color, their mouths falling open in disbelief. Future president? Tim stammered, still unable to process the shock of it all. He looked back and forth between me and the passengers who had spoken out, confusion clouding his face. I felt my heart race. I was fed up with the business studies my father forced on me, I explained, my voice steady now. I left home, wanting to escape. I chose to work in a company unrelated to my father. But when he fell ill 2 years ago, I came back. And after you dumped me, I accepted his apology. My father softened due to his illness. And that's when I stepped back into the path of management. Tim's expression twisted, his shock deepening. It can't be, he muttered, eyes wide in disbelief. His girlfriend, too, was struck dumb. Tim, do you see this outfit tonight? I asked, the words dripping with irony. All of it was my doing. You wanted it to look low-key expensive. It may look plain, but it cost hundreds of dollars. And that necklace you mocked earlier? I smiled thinly. It's not a dollar store toy. It's worth about $100 grand. Tim's face went pale, and the laughter that erupted from the onlookers was almost palpable, a collective release of tension. Tim looked like he'd seen a ghost. I'm sorry, he stammered. I was wrong. I'll apologize for everything. I'll break up with her, he added hastily, turning to his girlfriend as if she were the source of his downfall. But before he could continue, she snapped, her voice venomous. Who do you think got you on this cruise in the first place, Tim? He looked stunned, completely caught off guard by her words. Shut up, you flashy woman, she spat. You don't deserve those brand-name clothes. Tim retorted, his words slurred with anger. What did you say? You're not cool at all, even in your shiny clothes. Apologize to the clothes for not being suitable for brand items. I couldn't help myself. I smiled. You two seem to think your clothes are brand name, but they're knockoffs, aren't they? They froze, exchanging startled glances. You can fool each other, but you can't fool everyone. If you two are so blind, then neither of you has an eye for quality, I continued, my voice cutting through the air. The passengers around us chuckled, clearly enjoying the spectacle. Well, I can't really talk, I added sarcastically. I can't tell the difference between dollar store items and high-end stuff. The laughter from the crowd was unmistakable, a sweet sound of victory. Don't mess with me, Tim snarled, shaking off the security that had tried to keep him at bay. His girlfriend was still yelling insults, the two of them at odds, as security managed to get a firm grip on them. They won't be able to sit at their dinner table anymore, my junior colleague commented, a touch of humor in her voice. They probably overaged on the tickets. The dinner course was so good, I wanted to show off, she laughed. I wish they could have at least eaten it. We shared a laugh, the tension of the moment slowly easing. You're so serious about it, I teased. It's funny. She smiled, clearly enjoying the lighter moment. All the same, it makes sense for you to be here. I raised an eyebrow. Should I really have let you buy such an expensive outfit for me? Absolutely, she replied, her tone warm with sincerity. Between us, the CEO is about to change soon. My dad is fine now, but he's saying he can't handle the load anymore because of his age. This outfit and necklace you chose. I plan on using them for the inauguration ceremony. I was taken aback. Will you attend in that outfit as well? She nodded enthusiastically. I'll follow your lead from now on. Let's stay friends, even when we're old. Like grandmas. Yeah, I agreed, a playful grin tugging at my lips. We enjoyed the dinner cruise, our conversation flowing effortlessly. But as we disembarked a few hours later, I was met with a familiar, unwanted face. Hey, Heather, Tim called, his voice pleading. Let's give it another shot, you and me. I promise I'll turn over a new leaf. I don't think I'll ever meet someone as pure-hearted as you, someone who can be moved by something from a dollar store. Tim's stomach grumbled loudly, the sound unmistakable in the quiet of the moment. He looked pitiful, begging me as if it would somehow change everything. You didn't eat dinner, did you? I asked, my tone laced with irony. He waved it off. Skipping a meal isn't a big deal. More importantly, I beg you, Heather, he pleaded. I reached into my bag, pulling out a small, inconspicuous item. Here, if you'd like, I said, handing it to him. Tim's eyes lit up, but the smile faltered as he examined what I'd given him. What's this? He asked, bewildered. A wristwatch from a dollar store? I watched him, my eyes narrowing. What, Tim? Are you trying to get back at me? Don't call me Heather, I snapped, my voice cold. I don't want to see you at all from now on. If this was worth $100 grand, would you be happy? But if it's a dollar store item, you don't want it. In the end, all you care about is money. I raised my hand, calling for security. Excuse me, I said. Security. They arrived quickly, restraining Tim once more. He was dragged away, his pitiful cries fading into the distance. I heard later that Tim caused another scene, this time arguing with his girlfriend and getting reported. Apparently, he'd been spotted bloating his stomach with water at the park. It was clear he had been dumped, but that wasn't my problem anymore. As for me, I had risen to become CEO, my hard work paying off. My junior colleague, now a reliable companion, worked by my side. Our new burger chain was thriving beyond expectations, and whispers of opening more stores buzzed in the air. I hadn't found new love yet, but I wasn't in a rush. One day, I hoped I'd meet someone who truly understood what mattered, someone who saw me for who I really was.